right words to say and enough energy to speak. But my team is really important to me, and it doesn't matter where anyone falls in my downline. It doesn't matter. I've never looked at it that way. You're a part of my team, and I want you to be as successful as I've been, as successful as you want to go. That's how far I want you to go with this company. And I put my heart and my soul into this company, and I feel that if you do the same thing, that if you're there for the well-being of those that come on board with you, wherever they fall on your downline, and you can do as much as you can, then you will be successful. And this company is different. This product is different. There was a post last night that Lydia Diaz posted about being a pioneer. Did anybody see that last night? About trailblazing? What she posted was so powerful. She's a presidential diamond in my downline. And I didn't sign her. Somebody signed somebody who signed Lydia. And you just never know who's going to come into your business because of somebody else. And it's just an adventure every day. It's an adventure with how your business grows and different directions that it turns. But Lydia said, because of what we're selling and what we're promoting and what our product does, there's nothing like this on the market. There's nothing that can do this. And people will always be interested in changing and improving the way that they look and the way that they feel about themselves. And that's why what we do is different than selling anything else that you could buy at Target or anywhere else out there. This is different. And that's the only reason I came on board. The only reason I said, all right, I'll do it, I'll sign up, was because it does this. I've never seen anything like this. And I bet that's why you're here too, is this is fascinating. So when I started this business a little less than 2 years ago, I haven't hit my second year yet, I didn't know that this could happen. You know, I didn't have that vision that there would be thousands and thousands in my organization. I just knew that this stuff did this. And I was excited about it, and I could afford to try it. And I felt like other people would feel like I did. I felt pretty confident that most women would feel like me. I'm a pretty normal girl. And so with that faith and just this crazy product, I went to work. And I could see that other women were feeling like I was, that they were excited like I was. They were asking, how do I become a distributor? I mean, I didn't even say it. They asked me. And it doesn't work that way in other companies, you know, where people are stepping up saying, can I do this too? You know, and that's why, again, we are pioneers, as Lydia said. So I just want you to just kind of remember, I started out just like everybody else. I started out with zero, just a couple wraps that I didn't know what to do with. I wanted so badly to wrap. I'm like, oh, I just want to wrap my tummy. But I didn't have any products I didn't have any wraps then to sell. And, you know, what if somebody wanted to buy one next week? You know, it was just, I started the same way. I started with my husband breathing over my shoulder, like, how much does that cost? Well, you know, what are you doing? How much did you make last month? The same thing. My friends like, oh, it doesn't work. Christy, what are you doing? Same thing happened to me. I teach in the fitness arena. You know, I teach spinning, I teach Pilates. Do you know how many instructors turned their nose up at me? Do you know how many talked about me behind my back? Didn't care, because I knew it did this. Do you know how many of them sell with me now as distributors? Almost all of them. Yeah. It's real funny. Yeah. And I've never, you know, when someone joined, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad. You know, and I always just welcome them with open arms, because I knew they would see it at some point. You know, I knew it. There was no way to explain what happened to my mom's neck. Hanging loose skin like that, when it tightened up and she looked 20 years younger. There was nothing they could say to ever make me doubt what I found. So they could laugh all they want, but I knew this stuff worked. I knew it. And so that's why I just felt so confident that at some point they would come back around, and most of them did. So whatever you're facing and whatever trials that you feel you're going to hit at some point, or maybe you're at now, just know that we all have hit them at some point. And as I look back, you know, and I was kind of thinking about my last 1.5 year journey, I don't know that I would wish any of them away. I don't know that I would wish, you know, people talking about me behind my back, or maybe some people that unfriended me, or distributors that had quit, because every little thing that happened along that path has made me the leader that I am today. You know what I mean? I wouldn't change it. So the person that I'll be in 5 years from now or another year from now, I can't foresee what's going to happen. I don't know. But I know that every month that comes along in each distributor, something will happen and a lesson will be learned, and I'll be a better person for it. So a couple of things I wanted to share with just you that I haven't shared with anybody else yet. I was talking to Pam at Green Carpet just a couple weeks ago, and she said, Christy, Mark and I worked as hard as we could for 5 full years, and we didn't make $1. We didn't pay ourselves $1 for 5 years. We traveled everywhere. We worked till 2, 3 in the morning. We did everything that you're doing, and then some. 5 years, and we didn't make a dime. We were paying other people, that were on board with us, but we never made anything for ourselves. We didn't put any money away for ourselves. And she said, my husband Dave said to me all the time, why are you doing this? What are you doing? Can you imagine your husband, 5 years, asking you, and what his attitude would be? And she said, every time he did, I looked at him and I said, I will never find something in my lifetime again that will do this. I've never seen anything like it. I know I will never find another product that will work this well and do this, where we can sell it at this price point. Never seen anything like it. So she knew that it was going to work. She's like, I know this company's going to work. I just have to find the right leaders. We have to get the right doors to open. We have to find the right people to help us with the marketing and the branding and the culture that we now have with It Works. I knew it was going to happen. We just needed the right people and the right timing, and everything was going to come together. And that's what's happened now. So, they had that vision of not just 2 months or 3 months, but it was a career path for them. And that's how I see It Works now. I don't know that I necessarily saw it that way until I talked to Pam 2 weeks ago. But this is my career. I used to be a school teacher. That was my career. And I put that hat away when I became a mom. But I think in the back of my mind, I always saw myself as, I'm a teacher. That's my career. That's what I chose to do in college. Do you have that title that you kind of wear, that you think of yourself as? I'm a secretary, or I'm a mom, or I'm a doctor, whatever your title may be. This is now your career path. It can be. And the income that you can make here is beyond anything that anybody out there would ever pay you. I can assure you that. I signed up, moving on to my second point, I signed up a doctor that I've been seeing for years. I never meant to sign her. I don't walk into offices and carry my little notepad and say hello. I don't do that. I talk to people that I know. I create a relationship with them, and then I tell them what I do. That has always worked for me when it comes to this business, because people buy from people that they trust and that they know and that they kind of like a little bit, So that to me is always where to start. How do I sign up a salon? Well, be friends with the owner. How do you become friends with the owner? I don't know. Go in and get your hair done. Drop by and bring her flowers and say, I've heard such great things. I don't know, find a way to create some kind of a relationship if you want to sign that salon owner. If that's important to you and that's what you want to do, that's how you do it. You create a relationship. So I was, getting my back worked on, and came up, that I was selling these crazy body wraps. You better believe I was face down. I'm getting out my phone, looking for my pictures, showing her my pictures, and we talked about wraps for a good hour while I was there. And when I left, and I got back in my car, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened. I was so excited, because she was so excited and said she was going to sign up, and it was kind of like one of those things. I didn't plan for it, but here it was. So she's a distributor. When I was in there the other day with her, she said, Christy, I can't even keep my lights on for what it costs to run the auto ship for It Works. My electric bill in this practice, she said, is more than our auto ship. So she said, to own your own business, to be able to have the opportunity to make what we can make with this company, if you had any other business out there, any other kind of storefront, and her place is pretty small, I'll tell you that, and it's kind of in an older area of Orlando. And her electricity bill is more than what our auto ship is. Can you imagine everything else she has to pay for? Her staff, the products that she has to carry, her insurance alone. to be a doctor. It's outrageous what physicians and anyone who owns their own business has to actually put out in the end. There's hardly anything left for them at the end of the month. So every time you look at a salon owner or a doctor, whoever may intimidate you, just realize that you have the potential to help them because they are drowning in debt and overhead and bills, and there's nothing left at the end for them. Okay? Don't be intimidated by them. If that's important to you, create the relationship, but you have something to offer them that they cannot do on their own. And they're looking for opportunities. They just don't know what's out there, and they've been hit up with everything you can think of, from jewelry to makeup to cute little bags and everything else in between. This is different, and they may be open to this. So I wanted to just remind you about how small of a price our auto ship is as our overhead to run our own business compared to what anybody else is paying out there when they own their own business. I was talking to Cindy Pentecost when I was at Green Carpet, and I was telling her that I was struggling to find the balance in my business. Almost 2 years. Sometimes we get a little tired, right? Get a little tired sometimes. And I have 4 children. I just had a baby a couple months ago. And, you know, it's sometimes challenging to find a balance. How many of you have been a distributor for more than 6 months? Okay, so a few of you. Anybody more than a year? Or no?
I just hit a year, yeah.
You just hit a year, I know.
So they're definitely not.
Okay. I love it. No, that's just so exciting.
I know.
And I mean, I haven't even in 2 years. Like, I'm hardly this veteran, you know, really. So, anyways, so I was talking to Cindy, and she said, you know, Cammie still's trying to find the balance. Cammie's her daughter, Cindy Pentecost's daughter, and she said, what you can do when you hit that point, so maybe you're not there yet, and you're just still like running in pure adrenaline, which is how I was up until I think I hit ambassador. And I still kept running as hard as I was when I was at the beginning. And it's just probably these last couple months that I just slowed down just a little bit, and I'm working my business smarter, not harder. But she said when your kids are kind of fighting you a little bit, mom's got to go to a wrap party again, or there's a training, or whatever else is going on, and your family is fatigued, she said, I want you to get down on your knees, and I want you to be eye level with your children, and I want you to tell them that you are building a legacy as a family, and that you can't do it alone. That you going and doing your wrap party and your wrap training, that's your job. But their job at home is just as important. To have a good attitude, to be happy, to be helpful. That daddy's job is different than mommy's, and what he's going to be doing at home to get the kids ready for bed and help with homework, that's his vital role in this, and that together every piece has to be there, because this is a legacy that you are creating and building that you can pass on to them and do the most amazing things. This is a vehicle that we can create dreams and do anything that we want to do. We're bringing a family into Orlando this coming week, all expense paid trip after the death of their son. And we can do anything for this family with donations that have come in from other Right Works distributors because of this business. What a blessing to be a part of that, and to be able to help families this Christmas because of this business. For so long we were on the other end of it, and we had nothing left. I looked at price tags my whole life. You know, when I would go to the store, if there was something that I wanted, I'd always, you know, rationalize it with how much it cost versus what I had in the bank, what I really needed to buy. I always ordered the cheapest menu off the restaurant menu. I always struggled. I always worked hard, but I always struggled financially. This is the first time in my life that I haven't done that. So this is a company that is the vehicle that will allow me to open up those dreams that I have for my kids and for other people. And the only reason that it's growing this fast and that it's working, because we're not selling all this other stuff. It's not about that. We have something that is different. We will never come across something like this again, ever. And you have to believe that. And you have to tell your distributors that, and you have to carry that passion with you. And you have to go to trainings when you don't feel good, and you have to go to wrap parties when you're 9 months pregnant. That's what you do, because you're building a legacy. And nobody can do it but you. So hang in there. Get through these holidays, lay the foundation, because in January, when people are frustrated with the back of their legs, and when they look in the mirror and they grab their stomach, they're going to think of your product. They're going to think about your product. If you've advertised, if you've showed them what it can do. If you haven't, they will not think of you. They will call Weight Watchers. They will go to a gym. They will ask how much it costs to get personal training sessions. They will swallow that number, because that is a big number. When you want to pay for a trainer, it is hundreds and hundreds of dollars, isn't it?
Yeah.
And people sign off on that every single day. Why? Because they're desperate. And they will pay and do whatever when they get to that point. Not until they get to that point. When they do, if they know you have this, they will contact you. This is an important time of your business. It might be a little bit slower. That does not mean that it's not important, and it will pay off in January, in February, in March. And in March, what starts happening? Summer, preparation, warm weather, shorts.
February Valentine's.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have this huge stretch of period that's coming. It doesn't end really until July on August. Finally, I taped a call with Mike maybe just a week ago, the Braveheart call. How many of you have heard that by chance? Okay, that was such a great call.
I didn't know.
He talked about leaders being there on the front line. That some leaders lead from the back. This you guys go ahead and do. But real leaders, get right there with them. You know, I go out and I blitz still. I still wrap legs and butts. And I talk about reps and I train and I do all that same stuff that I did in the beginning. If I stop doing that, my business will slow down. It will. And if I stop and say, okay, I'm just going to manage now. You guys all right? You guys need anything, let me know. If I stop creating that new business and I stop bringing new customers in and I stop signing new distributors and I assume that you guys are all doing it and then you assume that they're all doing it and you assume that they're all doing it, no one. So don't ever become that kind of leader. Whatever rank you get to and you're happy with, don't become that leader. This is your own business. The doctor that I was talking about, she doesn't stop trying to bring in new clients, new patients. If she gets to that point where she says, I'm good, I don't want anybody else new, what's going to happen to her practice? It's going to start to decline, right? People move, they don't have money, that sort of thing. Her slow period, by the way, the doctor's slow period is in January. She says, I can barely keep my lights on in January. She said, there's no income coming in. I said, why is that in January? That's our busy season. She says, people have to meet their deductible or their copay before, you know, whatever happens in the insurance world. So they haven't met their deductible yet, so they don't come in. So her period of slow, you know, that season, the wave of the business is in January. And on that call with Mike, I shared that my friend who's a marriage and family therapist, she has no clients, no new patients at all in November, December, and again in August. People are busy and they're doing other things. So every profession, no matter what it is, has their waves, their seasons. That's the way that it is with everybody. And I think what I've learned in the end is that if we were always making money every single month, if we were like, well, I'm 1,000 more than I was last month, oh, 2,000 up over here, what would happen at some point? I'd get so haughty and so high and so, wow, well, look at me, that I'd fall right off my cliff. It keeps us grounded.
Humbles you, yeah.
Humbles you. So that I never think, oh, I'm done. You guys okay? Let me know if you need anything. That would happen. That's exactly what would happen. I feel like, gosh, God knows that would happen. That's probably why they have these seasons of the business with everything. We can't always expect that to happen. It will ground you. It will humble you. It will cause you to get back out there and do the things that you did to get your business off the ground. I will tell you this because there's so much money to be made here. The income that is happening at all different ranks is unbelievable in this company. I don't see it in any other company out there where so many people make so much money and that we can do so many amazing things with that. I don't see it.
Amen.
And if you hear that it's happening, it's probably not true. It's a lot of hype, We're one of the only companies ever in direct sales that doesn't pay people to come in. Some other companies pay people 6 figures, 5 figures, whatever it is, to try to bring their entire downline from another company over to this company. We don't do that. Why do you think that that is, that we don't do that? Would you guys say, now that you've been in for a while? Why do you think?
Integrity.
Integrity. Because what does that do to that other company? If I pay you $60,000 to come over, but I need you to bring like 50 people, and if you don't bring 50, I'm not going to pay you. So you bring 50 from this other company, what happens to that other company? Boo-hoo to them. Oh, well, yay for us, boo to them. That's not right. Right? That's not the way that we work. And I didn't realize that that happened out there. I didn't know, because I'm new to this industry. I didn't even know that people were doing that.
And we know it doesn't build your name
Right.
in the business that you're in.
Right.
Yeah,
It doesn't.
it hurts you,
Mhm.
actually.
And it makes sense that it would hurt you over the long haul.